Guess we're getting the phone version, making her.
That's a bummer.
We
still enjoy talking.
We still enjoy talking. The chat line's let down. They're freaking. They're having a riot. Joining us right now, the analyst for your Sacramento Kings and our dear friend, the busiest girl in the world, the one, the only, Kayte Lauren Christensen. Good morning.
Good morning. I just love how we use our full government name. Do you want me to go that route?
No.
David?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No. Okay. Hey, hold on. Do you even know my middle name?
Yes.
You do? What does it start with?
Yes.
Was
An
it?
A.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's relax. Hey, how do you feel about you? We were trying to figure it out. I think you might be our only guest that is not actually on camera now. We've switched them all. How do you feel about being on camera this year, in the future?
I am adamantly against it.
How do you really feel?
I told you. But the thing is,
as someone that's on camera all the time,
right? No, and I get that. Here's the thing, though, because trust me, with our other guests too, like you just got to throw a hat on. You don't have to get all gussied up.
So, Dave, I mean, you shouldn't be on camera either.
I agree with you. No, when you're right, you're right. I'm the last guy that. Kayte should be on camera 100,000 billion times more than me. So we got a little switcheroo here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so sorry to disappoint.
No, it's not.
But I'm really not. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't want to look
adamantly against it.
Before we get into the meat and potatoes, for those listening that don't talk to you in the off season, highlights, lowlights. How was the off season for you, Kayte?
It was good. It went really fast. More like fun stuff in the family. You know, we had our normal trips to our family ranch, but the Hubs was on another season of Survivor, so we're excited for that to come out in February. So it's been entertaining, adventurous, and it went too quickly.
What was the biggest home project you took on this summer?
Oh gosh, you know what? I don't really. I painted my kids' bathroom and decorated that and redid their bathroom. That's probably the biggest one.
Okay.
Did you repair or replace or restore any antique furniture?
No, I did not. You know what? All the projects came at home on the ranch. We painted a barn that hasn't been painted in 40 years.
Wow.
And so we had to do a bunch of repairs to that. And, you know, it's a big one. So we had to, you know, we rented one of those lifts and we repaired a whole side of that barn. We had to replace it and, you know, do the foundation. So that's probably the biggest project. And, you know, we have a few houses on our property and we put a couple little units up on Airbnb. So that was an adventure. So, yeah, that's about what I did.
It's pretty busy.
And then I guess lastly, because we got an update on the whole clan. I know you got the kiddos, but what, if any, Survivor fallout has there been since we last talked?
No fallout. No,
not a bad way. I just mean, you know, whatever.
But a second season.
No. Yes, a second season. So he was asked to be on season 50, which is an awesome deal, like really cool. And so there will be a lot of stuff to look forward to that. Yeah, and that's about all I can say.
Can you tell us anything like who wins, details about everything?
Just us.
Just all of that? No one's listening?
Yeah, no one's listening. Yeah, certainly. I'll divulge that information for you and then, you know, get, you know, packed away to jail or something, I'm sure.
That'd be funny. But then you could be on camera.
Oh, yeah.
It's
worth it.
You have a collect call. All right. So as our calls generally go, with the exception of the Beam Team year, I generally run negative. You and Jason run, I won't say
Jason's
positive.
a professional and asks real questions.
Yeah.
And you ask about, you know, what food I'm looking forward to eating the most.
No. I'm going to ask you a King's question.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So what are some things I can look forward to this season? Because I'm having trouble finding some. Help me out.
Well, I think one of the big things for me is just obviously there's a lot of change this year. You have a entirely new front office. You've got a lot of new staff, including a new coaching staff. Obviously, I think every year you go in kind of excited about the rookies, and I'm really excited. Obviously with what we've seen in preseason and summer league, and I'm super excited to see Doug's imprint on this team, and have been to practices during training camp, and there's a huge difference. And I'm kind of a defensive oriented person. Like, don't get me wrong, I love offense and I love watching kind of fast paced play in the NBA, like Beam Team. Obviously, when that happened a couple years ago, that was incredibly entertaining and exciting. But as we're seeing, like, more and more teams in the NBA are realizing that, defense has to factor in on a much larger scale. And with what I've seen at practices, it's like they're doing things that I've never seen in NBA practices, which is awesome, because I've said it on the broadcast, umpteen times of just, I think everyone has this preconception that at this level, you should know defense. You should be able to, why can't they do that? Why aren't they doing that correctly? And why are these breakdowns happening? But I've said, over and over that defense, just like offense, is something that you have to drill. Like, you have to put in the time. And I think especially when there are some teams that have, multiple kind of defensive-minded stoppers, right? But when you have a team that's not the general makeup of just a bunch of, defensive stalwarts, if you will, it's super, super important from a team perspective to drill it and to really, really work that skill, so that as a team, as the five guys out there on the floor, it puts you in a much better position. And we're seeing that. And, obviously Bobby Jackson and Doug have a long friendship and relationship, and they're kind of the same mindset when it comes to defense. And I think one of the things that Doug has done tremendously well, watching practices, is he really lets his assistants put their imprint on a team. Not all head coaches are that way. And Bobby is doing a fantastic job with, the defense and the drills and preparing these guys, holding these guys accountable. And, that's all at Doug's behest. So that's something that I personally am looking forward to. And I just want to put a little bit of a, warning on there. Like, no one's ever going to be perfect all the time. It's not going to happen overnight, but I think the groundwork is being laid in a really fantastic way.
Yeah, Kayte, on that note, I'm thinking about that, where obviously I know Doug has addressed it and talked about it. So whether it's the point
Hold
of
on, Jason, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah.
We have breaking news right now.
Okay.
Chris, are you in there? We got breaking news. Perfect timing here, and not much of a surprise.
When it breaks,
we have it first.
It's Sactown Sports breaking news.
Shams Charania has just announced the Sacramento Kings have signed 9-time NBA All-Star Russell Westbrook. Jeff Schwartz of Excel Sports Management has told that to ESPN. He will enter his 18th season. Shams adds Westbrook and the Kings maintain communication all offseason as Sacramento search for point guard depth. He has bonds with Sabonis, DeRozan, and Zach LaVine, history with B.J. Armstrong on the agency side, and a shared respect for Scott Perry and Doug Christie.
Wow.
There you go. Welcome in, Kayte Christensen. Because honestly, if the Kings needed anything, they needed more depth in the backcourt. Russell Westbrook, your newest Sacramento Kings. Jason, your thoughts?
Well, I'll let Kayte react to that,
Kayte,
too.
your thoughts?
First. Yeah.
Analyze.
Yeah. I had a feeling that might be happening. Obviously, It's something that we heard throughout the offseason as a possibility, but I think the injury to Keegan Murray is even more incentive to shore up some depth in some areas where you can grab a guy like Russell Westbrook. And listen, I think he's one of the most unfairly portrayed players in the league, because to average a triple double, I think, if memory serves from all of my prep over the years, it's 2 years he averaged a triple double in this league.
Yeah.
He's not a schlep. And his time in Denver, I really felt there was a true resurgence of his game just because he was being used correctly. So I'm excited. I had a feeling that this might be coming, and it's just, kismet that it happens while we're on air, yeah?
Yeah. How about that?
Well,
I'm curious. Like, obviously, it's still, we have a game tonight. We're going to be broadcasting that. That'll be our first TV broadcast tonight from Golden One. I'm sure, I highly doubt that he would be a part of that. But obviously ready for season opener a week from today. My goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, to think about that. So there's a lot to digest here. Let's kind of stick with this part with him. I mean, is the breaking news of signing Westbrook. Obviously, Kayte, they signed Schroeder to be the point guard. There's a lot of other guards that can handle the ball, can maybe facilitate or be decision makers, but obviously the Kings felt there was a need to get someone that has played that position a lot more than a Keon or a Carter or Malik. So what do you think his impact will be as kind of that backup veteran point guard?
Yeah, I mean, I think you nailed it just in the sense of a veteran presence, right? His experience, he's a high motor guy, someone that will commit himself to the defensive end. And one thing I do know about Doug, and I think this really helps in a large degree, and I don't want to portray that it's a necessity and that coaches that haven't, played at this level don't, garner the same amount of respect. But it's just a different form of respect when you're playing for a guy that has gone through what you're going through. And, it kind of takes me back, and I know we've talked about this, the story we were in Boston last year, and we had talked about it on the broadcast that DeMar DeRozan played a whole highlight reel of Doug Christie playing defense when he was in the league. And the whole point of him doing that was listen, guys, he's not asking us to do anything that he hasn't done himself. And so that gets me back to the respect that is garnered from a former player that is a head coach in this league. And I think that Russell Westbrook is a guy that obviously is going to relate to that. Doug's going to demand a lot from everybody. He's going to hold everybody accountable. And I think that not only what he can do on the floor, but I think that his voice is going to be an important one in the Kings locker room, because we just don't have a lot of guys that are those vocal types. Malik is a very vocal guy, but it's based in kind of directness and humor. And so you need a variance in the type of voices that you're getting in the locker room. And I think that is one thing that Russ definitely will bring, is a voice that is respected in the locker room.
Kayte Christensen joining us. It's interesting. The Kings are massively overweight in the backcourt. I mean, they've got now a ton of guards and, ones and twos. The front court is lacking in depth, especially with Keegan out for a couple of months at least. The things about Russ is he will bring fire. He will bring intensity. He's a walking icon, especially to the younger players. I mean, literally a walking legend, living legend. Rolling.
Well, he's a guard that can rebound, and that hurts with Keegan out for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I will add this on the other end. Since he left Oklahoma City, this will now be his sixth team in 6 seasons. Last year for the Denver Nuggets. He averaged, 13 points, and I think it's important to add the minutes here. He played, I'm looking at totals. Give me a second. Here we go. In 28 minutes a game, he averaged 13 points, 6 boards, 5 boards, 6 assists, 1.5 steals, a half a block on splits of 45, 32, and 66. So, look, we're not talking about your daddy's Russ Westbrook here. Obviously, he's on the tail end, and this is the Jerry Rice on the Broncos phase of his career. But this is going to be an important voice in the locker room, and it will give Doug Christie and Scott Perry the veteran point guard leadership they've been looking for, along with Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, Dave, you're right. Is there a question?
Okay, no, I'll ask it. You're right. That was kind of a stupid lead-in because I was running through. But does this move make sense for the Kings? Ultimately,
I think it does.
Okay.
Again, I think it does because Scott Perry and his front office is in an interesting position, right? He's coming in with a team that is basically been put together by his predecessor. I think with the picks that they had, in the draft, they did a phenomenal job with the talent that they got. And this isn't an overnight thing, and I'm sure fans love hearing that. But I think that is refreshing in the sense that I have sat down and met with Scott Perry one-on-one, which, by the way, has never happened in my history in this league. I've never sat down one-on-one with a general manager and just been able to talk and get a feel for, kind of their philosophy, where they're going, how they intend on building team, coaching staffs, all of that. And so I think the thing that is important when you're in a situation like the Sacramento Kings, it's tough for a general manager to come in and not feel like they just have to make all these massive changes because, they want to put their stamp on it. I don't think that because of the market that the Kings are in, that they're ever at the luxury of doing that. And so I think that, when you look at signing a guy like Russ, that's an indication of saying, okay, like we have an idea, but we also have our hands tied to a certain extent because this is happening on October 15th. We had an injury that happened during preseason that impacts us. There's nothing that he has done this offseason that screams to me reactionary move. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like they've been talking to Russ all summer. This is something that they had on their radar, and there's intent and a plan behind it.
So, this kind of ties in, Kayte, to what Dave and I have been talking about with the injury to Keegan, that to address that, I feel like, me just looking at the roster, that some of their best players are backcourt players, and now you could add Russell Westbrook to that along with Monk and all the other guys that they have there. But to fill in that void while Keegan is out, do you think they'll lean going smaller or some of the bigger options that they have that maybe aren't as proven as those backcourt guys? Like, where do you think they'll go to fill the void of Keegan Murray while he's out?
I mean, I feel like they have option to go small, obviously. And I think the one good thing about Russ is he's of that backcourt, he's probably the most versatile in terms of being able to play the other side of the floor. He's a big guard. He's strong. He has the experience in the NBA, and he's defensive minded. So I think that you could play small with him and, have options, have some success there. But, when you're in Doug's situation, I think there's going to be a little bit of exploration in terms of kind of, do you go small? Can you go big? Where is that most beneficial for you? What's the circumstance in terms of, the lineup you're playing against, the team you're playing with, their style? But it's important to have options. And there's, at this point, in the season, it's not, we would say it's still off season, in the sense that we haven't started the regular season yet, but there's not a lot of options to be like, oh, we're just going to go grab a power forward. It's not available. So I think this is probably the best case scenario in terms of being able to give you some options and some versatility, even though you're leaning heavy in the backcourt.
That's Kayte Christensen. We will be talking to her each and every Wednesday, depending on travel and all that other stuff, as she joins us via phone.
Mm-hmm.
And, hey, you know what? We're just happy to have her. We already have people in the chat wanting to rent your Airbnb, Kayte, so look out from there. We'll help do that. We just get 10%, okay?
Yeah, sure, Dave. I will definitely get you in on that for sure.
And she super meant that too. All right, that's Kayte, analyst for Sacramento Kings. We'll see you next week. Talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
Thank you. Wow. How about that?
I'm just glad it finally happened between that and Kuminga.
Yeah. Well, I will say this, like if you're looking at, you can make the list of positives and negatives. I would say by far on the positive side of this one.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing I think has been said about Russell Westbrook when he was beginning his career to his prime to where he is now, the guy is absolutely relentless. Like he is going to be competitive. He is going to battle. He is going to play hard. Now, there's there's questions all over this. Like, I don't know if the need fits this team. It's another older player. Like there's lots of things. You can find positives. You can find negatives. It's not a surprise because this is something that has been rumored and now it comes to fruition. It doesn't necessarily fill the void of the front court, like Kayte had said. But, obviously there aren't a lot of power forwards that they see out there right now. But he will compete. He will push Schroeder. He'll push the rest of the guys. Just hopefully you get a good version of him.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
It's not a youthful direction.
I'm here for it, man.
Yeah.
This team's a platypus.
Yeah.
Let's just slap everything together. The one thing Kayte said, we didn't have time, and I would love for her to help me on this. I don't know where you get that he's a defensive plus.
Westbrook?
Yeah.
He might have been at one point. I don't know that I feel that now.
No, I think he's.
I'd have to watch him more. I mean, I always feel like when I'm watching him, it's about his offense right now.
100%. Yeah, and he can rebound, which, let's be honest, that helps with defense. But
I think there's an effort level, and if there's an ask to continue to guard full court,
yes,
and that's a demand. Well, I think there's another guy that will do it in spared minutes, but he needs to do that.
I just don't know how much a 36-year-old in this outpost is going to pick up front to back. Maybe he will. I know he expressed interest in being here. Last year, for example, his offensive box plus minus was minus 0.9. That was a career low compared to 8.7, for example, in 16-17. His defensive box plus minus was minus 0.2. He's actually been in a negative the last 2 years offensively. His value over replacement player was 0.5 if you want to get nerdy. Hey, man, listen, screw it. You got two vets in the backcourt now.
Yeah, the stats you actually read for him from Denver were honestly, they were better than I thought they would be. When you read them for per minute, I was like, I wouldn't have guessed they were. I mean, they weren't amazing, but I know he was a bench player.
And the fact of the matter is with him coming off the bench and even getting,
24 minutes?
Yeah, I think it was 24 minutes a game, something like 27.9 minutes a game for Denver. Yeah, finished 7th in the Sixth Man of the Year category the last 2 seasons. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll take your phone calls. Russell Westbrook is a Sacramento King. 1-800-920-1140. Your thoughts on that? Alan Stiles will have all your coverage between 10 and 2, followed by Whitey and I have no idea. And what's on deck? Brought to you by Trex Decking and Railing. Coming up next.
San Francisco 49ers play on Sactown Sports 1140.
Touchdown 49ers! Every game on your #1 sports station. Don't miss the action on your local sports leader. Sactown Sports 1140.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an